Kingna Scott's story is a tale of reconciliation and resilience. She's not let homelessness, homophobia, or brain trauma stop her from pursuing her passion of music and being her authentic self. This Farmville native has shared a stage with Chrisette Michelle, Trey Songz, J. Cole, and Wale. After taking a break from performing to heal after an accident, she's preparing for another wonderful opportunity to help boost her career, a trip to London. Here's her story now.
We can have a really good walk. Don't jump off the cliff, I can handle it. I was downtown Granby Street watching a live band. For some reason or another, I walked outside, I said I'll be right back. And I run places. This is something I've been doing since I was a kid. I ran through an alley and it was a chain that someone tied too high. Someone said it looked like I was like uppercut by a superhero. Threw me in the air and I landed like this on my skull. I have 2 skull fractures. I was gigging around that time. I had to stop and I was in a coma. I was out for 4 days. Then when my brain started feeling a little better, when my headaches finally went away after about 3 months, and I'm trying to play the guitar and it don't even feel the same. Like I had damage to my left brain. So my creative side was affected. And I didn't want to believe it, but every day I'm reminded that I have brain damage. That's what's scaring me about losing faith, losing interest in music. I mean, it's an obvious change happening and it's scaring me. God gave us all gifts. Like if I don't try, He's gonna curse me forever. I'm gonna be that person and say, yeah, back in the day. Tell them how I used to sing, y'all. Oh, I used to sing back in the day. I don't wanna be that type of person. I don't wanna be that lady. Because everybody's gonna say, they're going, yeah, all right, you know? Don't nobody believe you. Sit your old self down. This is how I come up with song ideas. I might bebop it. So I'm actually listening to myself bebop. Like I hear all of it, the bass line, I hear the drums, I hear the guitar, I hear the piano, background vocals, just from listening to that. I'll just go with something simple and do it over and over until all these other ideas pop up, because it's like music, like meditation. So when you're doing and you repeating all this stuff, this meditation will put you in the zone, and then eventually all these other ideas will start pouring in. I don't like to confine myself to one thing. Like if I'm gonna do music, I wanna do music in every way. Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you, honey. Can't use that mic over there, can I? Yes, I can. Music in me is genetic. It comes from my father's side. The music, I started taking it seriously after I sang my first solo. I was 3. I remember the song. You want me to sing it? Testing 1, 2, 3. I was so teeny. Okay, so it goes, hallelujah, hallelujah. So I had to like tour churches and sing this song. After that, I just got a taste and I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to perform. So I started learning all these songs and singing everywhere. And then I got on a drum set that same year. And I said, yeah. And then one of the choir men, he came running down there, the Royal Supremes. One of the Supremes came running down there and he said, hold on, little girl. I couldn't even see you over the drum set. Where your mama at? And then he went and found my mama. He said, this little girl, she is a musician. I'll train her. She can make you some money. My mom said, girls don't play drums. She grabbed me by my arm, and yoked me up off the drum set and dragged me up the aisle and took me out to church. That was my first memory of her responding to me as a musician. The music, I think in her mind, she thought it was rebelling. trying to show her I know who my father is, despite all the attempts of keeping his identity from me. But it didn't have anything to do with him. It was all about, I need to play this. It was like an itch. It was like a drug. She came to one of my shows and she hasn't been the same since. Maybe that, she never respected me as a musician. So maybe that plays a part in accepting me now.
Let's make something that sounds crazy, Kingna.
I've always prayed about my relationship with my mother. I started praying about our relationship at 15 years old, because that's when I started to realize my lack of sexual interest in guys. And it was like a uh-oh moment.
Boom.
What really made me want to exhale, be me, and release it. I saw on TV that stress causes cancer. This is literally what made me start telling people. I'm not lying. I was in middle school stressed out about this. I'm sitting there and I'm like, if stress causes cancer, and I start being stressed at 13, I'm gonna have cancer by the time I'm 23.
I gotta do it again. You be having problems like that?
I started kind of remotely flirting, just saying like flirty things, just to see how chicks would receive it. And some girls thought it was funny. Some were like, Kingna, don't play with me like that. Like, okay, I'm gonna leave you alone. So I never really was in the closet. I just decided to kind of ease into it. And by high school, it was like pretty much guys knew if they wanted to date me, then I'd probably leave them for a chick within 3 months. It was like 3 months. I couldn't take it anymore. 3 months, and then there's the, James, we need to talk. I had to cut my mom off. I say in and out. Maybe I'd answer the phone after about 2 weeks. And then the conversation would last for 30 seconds to 5 minutes until she says something that brings me to tears. If anyone was around me at the time, they'd be like, oh, she's on her phone with her mom. They would know immediately because I walk out of the room and then I'm yelling and crying because no one brought me to that point. That happened for about the entire time I was in college. And eventually, she came around. I kept hanging up on her. I stopped talking to her. When I cut her off, that made the big difference. My church, I think they had a part in my mom changing. My church, they loved me for me. They never made me feel bad about who I was. They actually said a lot of, oh, that's Kingna. That's just Kingna. And I noticed that. I felt and understood that even at a young age. That's just Kingna. But you know, it doesn't have to be a church. It could be just other family members. Ask them to stand up for you. That's what my family did for me. So that made my mom change.
I've gone to music for therapy, but I've come to find it doesn't work for me unless I'm making it. Say I'm writing a song, I'm angry. Comes in, the verse is angry, I'm upset. And all of a sudden, I curve the song at the vamp or the chorus or the bridge, and then that song changes your mood, your mind. It's really made me realize the things that I'm going through, but you put the hope in the song, you implant the hope in the song. So it could grow. That's music, why me? And now I know it's music like, because you're supposed to make all of me. You're supposed to enjoy all of me. And that's why I chose you. 1, 2, 3.
To find out more about Kingna, follow her on Instagram at @TheLevel12. We'll see a clip of one of her music videos at the end of the show.